Hello everybody, my name is Gedikiju122 and welcome back to Pokémon Fire Red. Last time, we returned to Viridian City after completing our business in the Sevi Islands, and we took on the final gym leader, who turned out to be Giovanni of Team Rocket. We promptly defeated him with just Gullywash, of course, and we not only got the 8th gym badge, completing the gym challenge, but we also convinced Giovanni to pretty much just give up, and he has completely run away. This time, we have a few items of business to take care of, but before we take care of anything, I want to address a little thing in my inventory real quick, because something has happened between episodes. Between episodes, I did a little live stream to show me doing a little bit of gambling. I do believe the VOD is still available on the channel for anyone who wants to watch, but basically what I was doing is I was working at the Rocket Game Corner, gambling money left and right, in order to get some specific TMs to teach our Pokemon. I've been talking about the importance of investing in TMs, and while I have definitely put some of that into practice, I really wanted to go the full 9 yards and get all the TMs that I wanted to get from my Pokemon. So, we're going to be teaching a few new moves to our Pokemon. So, you'll notice, first of all, I have 2 copies of Ice Beam, and that's because we're actually going to be teaching Ice Beam to 2 different Pokemon on our team. First one we're going to be teaching is Gullywash. I'm going to be getting rid of Rain Dance in favor of Ice Beam. Some people may argue against this because it does give Surf more damage, but in a case like this, I would prefer that Gullywash have coverage, and just considering what we are having to deal with later on, Ice Beam is going to be very helpful on Gullywash. The other Pokemon I would like to teach Ice Beam to is Kaiser. Throughout this game, I have not really been doing anything to take advantage of Kaiser's special attack. Pretty much everything that he's been doing is physically attack-based, but Kaiser is still pretty good as a mixed attacker. And I really want to use Kaiser as a means of demonstrating just how incredibly effective a wide range of TMs can be if you're willing to work for them. So we're going to teach Kaiser Ice Beam, and I'm really hoping that this is going to pay off in the long run. So, considering what we have, I think I'm going to get rid of Thrash. Thrash has been very useful, but for the ultimate setup that I want on Kaiser, we're going to get rid of Thrash in favor of Ice Beam. Another move that I want to teach Kaiser is Thunderbolt. We already have Thunderbolt on Raitoshi, and don't get me wrong, we're still going to be using Raitoshi plenty moving forward. But again, I want to give Kaiser the opportunity to show just how amazing he can be as a mixed attacker with a lot of different abilities by teaching him all sorts of really cool moves. So we're going to get rid of Double Kick in favor of Thunderbolt because we have not really been using Double Kick as often now that we have Rock Lee on our team. And of course, the last move we're going to be teaching Kaiser is the move that we got in the last episode, Earthquake. There are multiple Pokemon on our team that can learn Earthquake, but Kaiser is the one that's going to benefit the most because not only is he a good physical attacker, but he's also a ground type, which means Earthquake is going to be 50% more powerful all the time. So we are definitely going to get rid of Dig in favor of Earthquake. And the last TM that I want to teach to a Pokemon is Iron Tail. And no, I do not want to give it to Kaiser. And I don't want to give it to Raitoshi either. I actually want to give it to Searcher. This is one thing that I really wanted to have in my final moveset for Searcher, just to give him a little more coverage as well. So we're going to, let's see. We're going to get rid of Roar in favor of Iron Tail, because we have not really been using Roar at all, and I don't see myself using it moving forward. So goodbye Roar, hello Iron Tail. So this is what my team is currently looking like in terms of its moveset. We have Strength, Bite, Surf, and Ice Beam on Gullywash. With Aerialist, Pursuit, Slash, and Sword Stance on Ragna. Eventually, we're going to get Fury Cutter on Ragna. We're just a couple levels away from doing that, but we're pretty close to its final moveset as well. Raitoshi is more or less as his final moveset with Thunderbolt, Quick Attack, Thief, and Thunder Wave. Not the best secondary moves, but really, what else could you want from a Raitoshi except for Thunder Wave and Thunderbolt? Of course, Searcher is Bite, Iron Tail, Flamethrower, and Takedown now. And this is the real beast now. Look at that moveset! Ice Beam, Mega Horn, Earthquake, and Thunderbolt on Kaiser? Like, come on! That's a really good moveset! I cannot wait to show off what this thing can do. And of course, wrapping it up, we have Rock Lee with Bulk Up, High Jump Kick, Brick Break, and Rock Slide. Really, really good moves for all my Pokemon. I'm very happy with how things are going in that regard. But I'm not here to just talk about moves that we get from our Pokemon. There's one other thing that we can get here, although I'm not going to be able to actually physically get it, but I do want to show the ability to. And that is by going to this specific pond of water and talking to this man here. Hello there! I've seen you about, but I never had a chance to chat. It must be good luck that brought us together finally. I'd like to celebrate by teaching you the move Soft Boiled. So I talked about this a little bit before when I went over Chansey's bio, but just to remind you, Soft Boiled is a move that can only be learned by a very select few Pokemon. Chansey is included, but another Pokemon that you can teach this to is Clefable. Either way, these Pokemon, when they use Soft Boiled, can heal their HP by half their maximum value. But the really cool thing about Soft Boiled is that you can use Soft Boiled on any of your Pokemon outside of battle. And that's really convenient. I'm not going to be teaching it to any of my Pokemon because none of them can learn Soft Boiled, but it's still nice that this opportunity is here for us. Our next item of business brings us back to Viridian City, where we were in the previous episode. There are two things that I want to do while we are here. First, I want to talk to this guy. Oh, I must have dozed off in the sun. I had this weird dream about a drowsy eating my dream, and I learned how to eat dreams. Oh, this is too spooky. Let me teach it to a Pokemon so I can forget about it. So this man will teach your Pokemon the move Dream Eater. I alluded to this briefly before, but this is the move that I was talking about if you want to raise either a Drowsy or the Ghastly line. Because these Pokemon, combined with this move, can be really good when you take advantage of their moveset. Because Dream Eater is a really good move to combine with Sleeping. Once again, I'm not going to be teaching it to any of my Pokemon, but if you want to teach it to one of the Pokemon I recommended, feel free to do so. Now, there is one other reason why I'm here, and that's because I want to go fishing. You can fish in bodies of water in Viridian City, and there's a Pokemon that I am hoping to get for myself. Poliwhirl! That's exactly what I was looking for. I want to catch this Poliwhirl, and hopefully Raitoshi will not take it out in one hit. And there we go. Poliwhirl, the tadpole Pokemon. Its two legs are well developed. Even though it can live on the ground, it prefers living in water. Once again, well, normally I would actually recommend you guys giving it a nickname, but I'm gonna advise against that this time, because we're not gonna be keeping this for very long. And the reason why takes us back to Cerulean City. I believe in this house here. Hello there, do you happen to have a Poliwhirl? Would you agree to trade for my Jinx? I alluded to this trade many times before, and I just kind of forgot to do it. So I figured now that we're taking care of some final items of business before we take on the Pokemon League, I would do this trade. So we're gonna trade away this Poliwhirl. Is his name Donate? And like that, it's Dante, but it's an anagram of Donate. Thanks. Okay, so we got a new Pokemon, Jinx. First of all, it's nicknamed Zinx. The one thing that I want to make note of is that this particular Jinx has mail attached to it. This is not really a thing that is used too much in this game, but it's more used so in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. This was a thing that is kind of redundant by today's standards, but back then, you could use some of the in-game text available to create letters that you could then give to Pokemon that you would tend to trade away. And so it looks like this Jinx has some mail that we should read. So let's give it a read. That's a healthy Jinx. Be kind to it. From Dante. Alright, well, thank you very much, Dante. Now, since we have a new Pokemon, let's go ahead and talk about Jynx. So, Jynx. There are very few ice Pokemon that you can actually obtain in these particular games, but Jynx is easily one of the best ones. Kind of like Electabuzz and Magmar, this is one that has pretty decent stats all across the board, generally well above average. And with the right moveset, it can become a devastating sweeper for your team with that 95 speed and 115 special attack. Plus, this is a nice middle-of-the-road option as far as a Psychic Pokemon is concerned, because not only does it have better defenses than Alakazam, but it has better special attack than Hypno. So if you were kind of worried about Alakazam, or, couldn't reasonably get Alakazam, and you didn't like how Hypno worked for you, this might be a happy medium for you guys. Plus, the nice thing about being an Ice Psychic type is that even though Ice does have a lot of common weaknesses, it being Psychic type does eliminate one of the more common ones in the form of fighting types. Now, as far as Jynx's moveset is concerned, that's where it's a little iffy. It does learn some interesting stuff. The most notable thing that it learns as moveset is Lovely Kiss, which is a pretty good sleep-inflicting move. It has a 75% chance of landing, which is better than a lot of the sleep-inflicting skills in the game. And it does learn some other unique moves like Mean Look and Fake Tears and Perish Song. But as far as offensive moves is concerned, it learns Powder Snow at level 13, Double Slap at level 21, Ice Punch at level 25, and then doesn't learn any other offensive moves until level 51 in the form of Body Slam, and then learning Blizzard at level 67. This is definitely a Pokemon that has a lot of potential offensively. It could be a devastating force if you know what you're doing with Jynx. But this is also definitely a Pokemon that you are going to be investing some TMs for. We do have the means of doing that. If I really wanted to use Jynx at this point in the game, I definitely could give it my Psychic TM, and I wouldn't regret it if it weren't for the fact that we're too late in our adventure to reasonably use Jynx. Still, it is a really good Pokemon, and of course, because this is the only way that you can obtain Jynx during the main story, this Pokemon will get an EXP boost with every encounter because it is still a traded Pokemon. Although, now that we are talking about Jynx, there is one thing I do want to bring up, and this has nothing to do with Jynx specifically, but it's just kind of the way that Jynx was kind of put aside. I made a brief comparison to Electabuzz and Magmar earlier, and that's because for the first 3 generations, Electabuzz, Magmar, and Jynx were kind of this neat little trifecta of elementals. One was a fire type, one was an electric type, one was an ice type, which we all know how well that works. They all have really good stats, generally above average across the board for all 3 of them. They're very hard to find, but they're very worth using. And in Generation 2, they all received baby Pokemon forms of themselves. We got Smoochum, Elekid, and Magby. All 3 of them were this neat little trifecta, and then Gen 4, Jynx just kind of fell off the bandwagon. I'm sure there's a myriad of reasons why, and Jynx in and of itself had to get redesigned from its original Gen 1 art for reasons, but I don't know. It's a little bit of a shame that Electabuzz and Magmar just kind of went ahead while Jynx was pretty much left behind. But that does not mean Jynx is bad at all, even though it's not going to be as good as Electabuzz and Magmar in the extremely long run beyond this game. Now, I could end the video here, and I probably would get away with it considering that we have caught a new Pokemon, did a whole bio for a brand new Pokemon that we can get our hands on now, and gotten several new moves for our party members. But I do want to make a little bit of progress before we end the episode here. So what I would like to do is we're going to go west, and we're going to go back to Route 22, and we're going to head towards the Pokémon League. What? Griffin! What a surprise to see you here. So, you're going to the Pokémon League? You collected all the badges too? That's cool. Then I'll whip you, Griffin, as a warm-up for the Pokémon League. Come on! Yep, we got a rival fight in our hands. It's going to be starting out with Pidgeot at level 47. Unfortunately, I do not have any reference for the movesets here, but just work with me on this one. So now that we've gotten all these amazing new moves on Kaiser, you better believe I'm going to be showing everything off. So let's go with Thunderbolt. Okay. How about Ice Beam? That takes care of Pidgeot. Next thing he's going to be sending out is Alakazam. I'm going to be keeping Kaiser in, and I am going to be throwing my Mega Horn at him. Ooh boy. Alakazam is not wasting time because he is using Future Sight. I really wish Mega Horn had a better, sound. The animation is great, but the sound's a little off. Anyway, we took care of him, no problem. Next thing he's going to be sending out is Growlithe. I am going to be switching out Kaiser only because Future Sight has been put into play, and I don't want Kaiser to be taking the brunt of that. Level 45 already, so you see pretty clearly that Sheldon is not messing around. While his Pokemon are still not quite a match for mine. In terms of levels, they're really jumping up, to be sure. Next Pokemon's gonna be Venusaur. You know what? I'll keep Gullywash in. I'm gonna give his new Ice Beam test drive, and Venusaur looks like a decent target, especially at level 53. What? Critical hit! Come on! Okay, fine. I'll stop with the cocky attitude. I'll just take it seriously. Okay. Oh, Venusaur is actually faster. Well, it is 10 levels higher. I guess I shouldn't expect anything less than that. Flamethrower. Okay, well, credit where it's due. That Venusaur did give me a lot more trouble than I thought it was going to. But Search grew level 44, so it's all worth it in the end. It's going to be sending out Rhyhorn next. Unfortunately, my best way to deal with Rhyhorn is unconscious at the moment. So I'm not going to do anything too stupid, but I am going to be switching out to Kaiser. And we'll give him an Ice Beam. Hopefully this should do it. Nice. There you go, Kaiser. And his last Pokemon is Gyarados. I'll keep Kaiser in. Why not? Kaiser's the man. He is the guide that has been on our side almost the entire time. And I'm confident this Quad Thunderbolt will do the job. Critical hit. Quad Super Effective Thunderbolt. Kaiser knows how to get it done. What? I was just careless, you. I was just careless. If I had been much less careless in this fight, we wouldn't have dealt with that little casualty, but that's okay. That loosened me up. I'm ready for the Pokemon League. Griffin, you need more practice. But hey, you know that. I'm out of here. Smell ya. Alright, well, I think that's a good enough point to stop. We've gotten several new moves for our party members. We caught a new Pokemon, traded a new Pokemon, and we fought a rival again. So next time on Pokemon Fire Red, I think we're going to be working on making our way to the Pokemon League. See you guys then.